Hey, how's it going? It's Ollie here. So, it's actually 1 a.m. right now, as you can see. Wasn't planning to make a video, right? Sitting here in my Disneyland hoodie. It's the middle of the night, about to go to bed actually soon. Just had this thought that came to mind, and I was like, man, I have to press record and share this with you. And really, it surrounds how to make a huge leap in your life. How to get extremely good results and jump to the next level of whatever you're doing. Whether it's, for me, it's in the context of business, right? But this applies to any area where you're trying to master something and go from one level to the next. So it could be for you right now going from earning no money in your business to making a few thousand a month, or making a few thousand a month to go into six figures, or going from six figures to seven figures per year, or going from seven figures per year to 8 figures per year. Making that huge leap that on some level to you seems like it's a bit crazy. The lesson is this: in order to make this leap, you have absolutely no choice other than to follow somebody's advice who is already there, who's already at the place where you want to be, and to follow their advice completely blindly and treat them like they're some kind of messiah, and just blindly trust in what they say and just do everything that they say. So how do we know this is true? Well, the reason why is because when you do get to that next level in whatever it is you're trying to achieve, when you do get there, there are certain concepts, certain life lessons, and high level ways of thinking that you will obtain, right? They're things that you will get, things that you will now have a much deeper understanding of when you get to that next level. And until you're there, you won't have those understandings of these things. All right, you won't be familiar with why these things are true. All right, you won't have had the experience and the emotional experience and the wisdom that comes through being on the next level of whatever it is you want to do. So when you're down here, right, and we're all, in some level, like, down here, right? If you have a 9-figure business, right, you're down here, you might want to get to whatever the next level of that is. When you are down here, because you don't have these deep understandings of these concepts, right, there'll be certain things that you should do to move forward, to make that leap, that you won't understand why you're doing it. You won't understand why you're doing it. All right, so let me give you an example. So, when you have a child, right, you're raising a child, you want them to eat their vegetables, right? You tell them, look, eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables. Right? Every time they sit down to eat dinner, and they love the meat, they love carbs, they love certain parts of the meal, but they don't like broccoli, they don't like green beans, they don't like peas. You as a parent, as an adult, are saying to them, no, you have to eat your vegetables. Right? This is something you have to do. Now, a kid's never going to understand why they have to do that. It's like, it tastes bad, I don't like it, I don't want to eat it. They're not going to get why this is important for them. You as an adult understand, the high level concept of why eating vegetables is so important. Right? It's because of nutrition, because you can have really bad long-term health effects if you don't have enough micronutrients, It can help with their development, their growth. It can help with their attention span. It can help them learn more. It can help them develop as a person more, ultimately through having all these things. And it can actually affect your brain and just so many other things. If you're malnourished, it's just so bad for you. And you have these high level understandings of why this stuff matters. And you've probably been through periods in your life where you've eaten unhealthy food and you know how it feels to have gone through that. Whereas a kid will never have had those experiences, and they can pretty much eat whatever they want and they pretty much feel okay because they're a kid. So the only way to get a kid to eat their vegetables is to use bribery, discipline, punishment if they don't do it, rewards if they do it, all these things. Because they can't get into their head why it's actually important yet. Now, when they're older and when they're your age, they'll thank you for it. They'll thank you for it because then they will have the high level understanding and it'll all make sense, right? So it's very similar. If you don't have a business right now and you've never had a business before and you want to build a 6-figure business, or you want to get to like a few £1,000s a month or whatever, right? It's exactly the same thing. Like there's certain concepts and certain things right now that you just won't understand. You won't be cognizant of it. You won't have ever been in this world, this universe before. There'll be concepts to you which are foreign. So this is how you can identify if someone is a good student and is going to make an unbelievable amount of money and get crazy amounts of success, or if someone is a bad student and is going to fail. It's actually got nothing to do with intelligence. It's got nothing to do with nothing to do with how smart you are, how much experience you've got. Quite often it's to do with how open someone is and how much they surrender to learning new concepts and following a teacher or someone who's more experienced more closely. Right? The more closely you can follow somebody blindly, the better. I'll give you a few more examples. So when I was first of all building my Amazon business, because this was all new to me and I had absolutely no idea how to build a business, right? Remember, my initial goal was to make £1,000 a month profit, and that to me was like the most mind-blowing concept, having £1,000 a month profit coming in. And I was on this program. There was a bit of coaching involved. It was like a live webinar or something. It was very, very affordable program or something. It wasn't very expensive. And I was just the best student ever. I honestly said, right, I'm going to put my hands up and admit I know nothing about how to sell on Amazon. I know nothing about e-commerce, right? I think this was back in very early 2015. I said, I know nothing about business. I know nothing about e-commerce. I know nothing about Amazon. So every single thing that the person running this course says, I'm going to do it to a T. I'm not going to question it. I'm going to treat them like they're a god, because they are exactly where I want to be right now. Long story short, on that program, almost everybody else on the program, there wasn't many of us on there, got nowhere. They got absolutely nowhere. I got to £1,000 a month profit within about 6 weeks. 6 weeks joining that program. Case in point, right? I didn't know why I was supposed to do some of the things. I think one of the things they said to do was silly things like break down how much profit you need to make every day in order to hit your goal. So for me, it was like £30 a day to make about £1,000 a month, right? Things like that. I was like, well, I don't know why I have to do that, but I did it, right? It was like, I don't know why I have to go and do consistent arbitrage hauls and stuff. I don't know why I need to do that, but I did it. I don't know why I need to figure out all my profit margins and everything first. But I did it anyway. I don't know why I have to read the Amazon terms and conditions constantly. but I did it because that's what they were saying to do, and that's the reason why I got such crazy results. Another example, which is the opposite, is when I was on another program to help me scale my coaching business, right? So, I have a coaching business, I sell coaching, right? And I wanted to scale, right? Now this time, I wasn't a terrible student. In fact, I was pretty good, but I wasn't a model student in this program. And this was a slightly different experience for me. And really what I was kind of halfway in. I was willing to follow. Now, bear in mind, I paid $24,000 to be part of this program for the year. Okay, so it was not a cheap program by any means, right? $24,000. So I was bought into this thing, right? And, it's very high ticket coaching program, mastermind, whatever you want to call it. But I was kind of halfway in. 50% of me was like, okay, these techniques and strategies work, right? They work. But then 50% of me was like, I had an ego. And I was like, well, actually, I've been doing this for quite a while now. I've been doing it for, at the time, maybe three years. So I was like, actually, I've been around the block. I've been studying marketing for a long time. Like since even before any Amazon stuff, I've been studying marketing since maybe 2012, right? So I thought I was, pretty skilled and talented. And even just letting 50% of my attitude be dominated by my ego and having it in the back of my mind that, I'm going to prejudge the instructions I'm being told to do by thinking that I know better in some ways. Just that little bit of a tinge to my ego stopped me from hitting the goals I wanted to hit. I didn't get as far as I could have got with the program. I saw people go from making, an okay income, maybe 10, 15K a month, to hitting 100K months while I was on the program, like in the time I was in the program for like 12 months. I did well, and definitely did well. I think I grew my business the coaching business from about 20, 30K a month to about 40, 50K a month while I was there. Okay, so it went well, but I wasn't a model student. Right? There were people around me who got twice, 3 times as good results as me, and it's all because of this concept. I was not completely bowing down, completely surrendering, completely admitting that the people running the program, had 7, 8 figure businesses, really understood concepts I didn't understand, and therefore I should take every single word they say as gospel and just follow it step by step exactly, because I don't understand why I should be doing it. I don't understand why I should be eating my vegetables, right? I don't know that. I don't have the wisdom, the experience to do that. So you have to kind of do the steps before you understand why you have to do the steps, and trust that the results will come. And this is like a very difficult thing to do. You have to put your ego aside. You also have to, it's a leap of faith, right? Because you're putting all your future and everything into someone else's hands. It's a very difficult thing to do, but if you can do it, it really does change everything for you. So, look, if you're on a program, if you're about to join a program, whether it's my program, someone else's program, whatever it is, this is the only way to be ultra successful. You have to just leave your ego at the door and just be like, look, I'm a dumb shit right now. I know nothing. Right? And it's not like a self-deprecating thing. It's just like, you have to be real. Like if someone's, a few steps ahead of you, which they should be if they're coaching you, then you should acknowledge that and just be like, look, I'm a scrub. Right? They're a sergeant major. I'm a scrub. I'm going to learn everything they have. I'm going to listen, be an amazing student. And that, I promise you, is how you will end up getting the best results possible. And every time I join a program from now on, that is going to be my mantra, because I know for a fact that it works. You have to be all in. All right, hope this helped put things in perspective and gave you some clarity, and we'll catch up very soon.